There we go. Hey, everybody. How are you? It's me, Melissa Hill, Raw Talk, as if you didn't know. TV. Okay, so today is, let's see, I think it's Melissa Hill Real Raw Talk. Raw Talk. Hold on a second as I turn off my Bluetooth. And I'm also going to be doing today, I'm going to be trying something new, and that's my dog Freckles, as if you guys didn't already know Freckles. I'm going to be trying something new on what I thought was called MixLR, but it turns out it's Mixler. So Mixler is an audio-only app. So I'm going to turn that on right now and see how that goes. Okay, let's go live. Okie dokie. And Freckles, that's Freckles. Yeah. Shh. The joys of broadcasting from home or from my friend's home. Hey, sit down. Anyway, I have a guest today, and he's about to step into the frame right now. His name is Brian Sebastian. Welcome, Brian Sebastian. Yay! Oh, welcome to Renegade Rock, Raw Talk.
Is that what it is?
Guerrilla warfare. So today is a different setup again. Let me try to change the angle a little bit. All right. Although there's no flares shooting out of my head tonight. Last week there was like a giant flare.
You had flares last week?
Yeah, shooting out of my head over here. So we have welcome moderators. We have Eric. Let's see. Let's start by reading. Pitchfork. Awesome. Another show. Yay. I'll be watching when I get out of work. Yay. So did I already say the date? Today is February 26, 2019. And this is Melissa Hill Raw Talk Free Agent, or beta number 6. Anyway, let's see. We have Activate LA. Hey, Melissa. Hey, Ray. Nick. Hi. Louis. Hello. Doing better now that you're on. Now that I'm on. Oh, we already got 2 messages that were deleted. What happened?
Already?
Yeah. And we start off with 9 viewers. Let's see. Let's change the angle a little bit. I'm looking really giant right here.
You think so? I don't think so.
Yeah. Oh, there's the flare. Okay. I think I have to. Maybe I'll just turn it off. So I don't have any assistants today. It's just me and Brian and this lovely hat, which can be purchased from Georgie's and Mommy's Finds. And those, if you're wondering why I keep mentioning Georgie's and Mommy's, is because, she's a woman entrepreneur, and she, sometimes she's, you know how it is when you have your own business. Not everything runs exactly the way you want it. And right now she needs help from the community. So if any of you out there know anyone who would like to invest in a business, or maybe just help save her business. She's having issues with being the only woman on her street. She kind of gets singled out a lot, and things are going a little rough right now as far as the man attitude on the street. So no offense to any of you guys, because I know you guys are all awesome and you would never do that. But some people, some landlords are just kind of assholes.
Oh, yeah. You told me about that.
Yeah. So Brian, welcome to Raw Talk, really raw super talk, or really raw super raw talk.
So I can say anything I want to?
Yes, you can. I have a GoPro over here shooting from this angle this time, thinking that I could do some behind the scenes stuff. And eventually when I launch the Patreon channel or Patreon account, which I will do eventually, then I'll have stuff that I can upload, or maybe I could even intermix, and footage from the GoPro with footage from the YouTube Live or from the Facebook Live. I'm just experimenting all different things. So I invited Brian here today because he has a program called Movies, Reviews, and More, right?
Yep. And the Women's Broadcast TV channel and iTube 247. And then tomorrow we're starting our sports show for Movie Reviews and More for Sportamix. Okay. We have a lot of stuff going on.
Sounds like it. Well, first things first, we invited you here, to do.
Because we couldn't get together in Vegas.
Yes, we were doing Tag You're It. He was in Vegas, and I was in Vegas, and then he went to the NAMM show, and then I was at the NAMM show.
Well, do you want to tell them why we were in Vegas?
Well, they know why I was in Vegas. I was in Vegas.
Yeah, but they don't know why I was in Vegas.
Why were you in Vegas?
Because, here's what I found out throughout the years. I'm the only one that I found out in the world that crosses, I call them the 5 barriers of things. Done stuff on the adult side, on the lifestyle side. Our friends are on there, past, present, can't say the future. And, I went to 5 different conventions in 3 weeks? No other media person did that.
I was impressed with myself. I did 3 and 2.
Well, the fact that you got those, that's pretty good. It's not easy to do that the first 3 weeks of January. It's tough.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're a lot more experienced at doing this type of thing. How many years have you been doing red carpet stuff?
I started in radio in 1982 in WPOP in Connecticut. Merv Griffin, if you knew of Merv Griffin, he started it. It was one of his stations. He became a multimillionaire from having different TV outlets, radio outlets, real estate, and other businesses and stuff like that. So that was actually pretty good. And then, when I moved to California, because we were in Market 36 in Hartford, Connecticut, so you always move up in radio. You move up market to market. So it's almost like a resume. You have a job. You go from job, and radio, you go from market to market.
Mm-hmm.
Most people want to go to either California, which is number 2, Chicago, which is number 3, Philadelphia 4, or something like that. New York is obviously number 1. So since I grew up in Connecticut, did I want to be in New York? Nah, I was tired of the 4 seasons, so I didn't have to do that. And I also knew the number 2 market was Los Angeles, but that doesn't mean I was going to come here. I just kind of ended up here, which was weird.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing this since on the Los Angeles side since October of 1993, where I came up with the movie Reviews More. And our old friend Bill Margot, who was my first co-host out here, helped me get stuff done, and that was fun.
Really quick, I want to acknowledge one of our. Oh, hey, Shelly. Wait, so shooting the back of your head? Yes, I am. He's always got some sort of comment. Yes, I'm shooting the back of my head. One of our other moderators, Ralph, he does a movie review program on Dollhouse Radio on Monday nights. Yeah. So I kind of also thought you guys can meet. Hey, Ralph. This is Brian.
How you doing?
Brian, Ralph. He'll reply in a minute. And nope, that's not the reply. So okay, so you've been since the 90s, and you started with Bill Margold, who also started the Free Speech Coalition, for those of you who are.
And Paul, Protecting Adult Welfare.
Right, Protecting Adult Welfare.
Fox Awards, Fans of X-Rated Entertainment.
Which they don't have that anymore.
And
FOXC.
he used to let me run all that stuff.
He also created the XRCO, X-Rated Critics
Organization.
So what was your role with that?
I was the only black critic, for one. There was 25 of us, and I used to run all the stuff.
What do you mean run all the stuff?
All the wild parties that we used to have.
Oh.
I put them together. Bill would create them, and he would say, "Kid, do what you want to do," and I did it.
Speaking of Bill, I have one of his bears here.
I noticed that.
And it has a little heart here. Yeah. So yeah, he watches over me.
See, that's good. And he does.
Yeah, he does.
I should ask him about you.
Explain. What do you mean? You should ask.
I'll tell you later.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, now the listeners.
Well, I'll tell you later in the show.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's see. Anybody like the hat? Thank you. So, all right. So you used to organize the fans of X-Rated Entertainment. Now,
at that point, Nita Hartley, Sharon Mitchell, Ginger Lynn. If for any of you guys who know all those names, they're all legends. They would run it, and I used to call them and have them come host the show. We used to do it at the Mayan Club. We did it at the Century Club. We did that place that's on what's called the Diamond Club then in 1996. The first year I ran it, and they were fun. We still have some of the tapes of all those things.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're classic. If you think of when Boogie Nights came out, well, what was his name? Burt Reynolds' character was based on what Bill Margot was, even though Bill didn't like it then. He never really liked the movie Boogie Nights because he would always find flaws in things.
Well, I think...
But he liked the character of Burt Reynolds because that was the closest one ever that people could see or identify with to him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't really...
If you get a chance, go see Boogie Nights.
Well, I remember when...
Paul Thomas Anderson, that was his first major feature, really, directed it. You got Burt Reynolds. You got... James Gandolfini in it. You got Mark Wahlberg in it. You got Heather Graham in it. Oh my God, there was so many people in that. Nina Hartley's in it. Ron Jeremy.
There's Little Cinderella. Little Cinderella.
Well,
we're going far back.
All of that. They're all in it. It was a big, huge cast. So I did all the interviews for all of that back then. And it was very, very interesting because look where those people are. Look where Mark Wahlberg is now.
Right.
You know, Paul Thomas Anderson, he's a good director now. I don't like all his movies, but he's a good director now. So that kind of kickstarted everybody.
Well, a lot of people don't realize, well, as far as I'm concerned, Paul Thomas Anderson took his name from PT, Paul Thomas, or is that just a coincidence?
No, it's a coincidence.
Really?
But that's why he uses his, there's another Paul Thomas Anderson. He did the sci-fi films. What's her face in it? Man, they've done 7.
Hey, movie guy over here.
Well, because I'm tired because of the Oscars and everything else that's been going on since the beginning of the year. He has to put P.T. Anderson because his name is the same name.
Oh, these are 2 different people?
There's 2 different people.
Oh, I thought he started adopting the Boogie Nights was great. Love William H. Macy. That was the name I was trying to think of.
William's wife was Nina Hartley in the film.
You've seen, oh yeah, I remember when I saw Boogie Nights, I remember thinking, I didn't like it. I think that's kind of common.
Did it grow on you after a while?
Yeah, but I think that's common for people when they're in a certain industry there's a movie based on that particular industry, whatever it is, if it's rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't like Bohemian Rhapsody, for instance.
Yes, exactly.
Not
me. I loved it. I picked it.
Right. Oh, you picked it as a winner?
Yeah.
Of which? I thought you said you picked Green Door, though. Green Book.
I picked
I said Green Door.
Green Book.
Green
to
Book.
win. But I like Bohemian because I like the performances, and Queen was the number 1 band that I saw that I liked.
Oh, here's a interesting question from Randy. Did you know that Ron Jeremy was sort of a consultant on Boogie Nights?
Yes, I did because
he worked on it.
Well, I didn't work on it. I did the interviews for all of that. So Ron was consulted on that because they didn't know who else to go to. So it's Ron Jeremy.
Right.
If they were smart, they would have went to Bill. Right. And one of the reasons Bill didn't like it because he would say they didn't use sticks because the tripod. They didn't shoot stuff on tripod. That was his major thing. Problem with the film.
Oh.
Because it was illegal to shoot films before 1986.
I thought it was 1988 was when it became legal.
No, 19. Well, that's what I'm saying. Before that, in general, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, oh, right. Okay, so they didn't have a tripod because that would require you have to explain for people that
the reason they didn't have a tripod because you would have to pick up and take and run with the equipment. The cops came.
Right.
And you didn't shoot on Fridays because the cops, if you got arrested, you were there all weekend.
Right. Hello. This is what I've been.
People may not know that. Right.
I've talked about this a few times or tweeted about it and stuff too, because, they don't, well, I don't even want to get into, industry drama right now, but when certain people got arrested, it was on a Friday,
mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, that's really fucked up. Because then, there's like, oh, well, they're obviously guilty because they're keeping them in jail, blah, 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 blah. Right. Yeah. So, okay. So back to what it was like. So sticks, meaning a tripod. Back in the early days of adult films, they didn't use tripods because that would require too much setting up or taking down if you had to get up and run. Kind of like last week where I was talking about shooting in the Philippines. Well, actually, I didn't really get into that, but it was.
Well, you got caught. You were in trouble.
Oh yeah, definitely. I remember when we were in the Philippines, the mayor would come down to the river, and we would have a lookout at the beginning of the river, and this guy who had the most amazing whistles. He was some Swedish guy that had these really technical whistles. So he would do a certain whistle, and then everybody would get into their determined spots, and we would pretend like we're shooting a war movie. Mm-hmm. We go rat-a-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-tat. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's kind of how we got around that. Are there any stories about how the locations were held secret until the last minute? Do you have any of those stories?
They were held secret to the last minute because if someone slipped without drinking or something, and you showed or told the location, well, the cops would be there. You got to remember, cops are always roaming around. They're looking for things. So you didn't want. If you're having a house party, do you want to tell the cops you're having a house party?
No, I think what they used to do is they would have a preset, like a parking lot that they would meet at, And then everyone would get into a
Remember
vehicle.
Bill's van?
Yes.
Okay, so his van
Is a
was very,
like
very
a Volkswagen
famous,
van.
VW.
Right.
So he got that van in 1972. That van lasted until he passed away.
Actually, you can see the van, and if you look up Bill Margold, you know, and there's lots of different documentaries that he's featured in, and the van is always there as well, and his teddy bears. So, but I think that wasn't it that the actors and actresses would show up and then get transferred into another vehicle, and then drive to the undisclosed.
It was really
location.
interesting, you know, the stories that Bill told me and how it did, because Bill and I we would talk for hours. I was the closest to Bill because he was my co-host, but he was also a mainstream movie reviewer too. So if you think of the guy wrote for 44 years on the back of LA Express.
Oh, right.
Mainstream movies, if you remember that.
Yes.
You'd have all the ads in there, sex ads and stuff, but on the back of the page, it was always Bill's page of all the films that he would see.
I always found that interesting.
You remember that?
I do. I mean, well, I didn't go around picking up LA Express.
Well, a lot of women did, because they would put ads in there at one point.
Oh, see, I was really.
You were a good girl.
I was a good girl. I was.
Sure.
I was.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't even know what the LA.
What, no anal for you?
Nope. No back door. We discussed that last week. LA Express. Well, basically he already said that. So it's where people would have ads in that. All right, I'm just skimming through the comments here, but so all right, so then you and Bill eventually started Movies, Reviews, and More.
1994. April 1994.
April 1994.
Because I gotten back from Australia, and he goes, "When you get back from Australia, kid, we'll start our show." And
for those of you who don't know, he used to, if he liked you, he called you kid. If he didn't like you, he would find something else to call you. Yeah. Something that usually rhymed with your name.
Yeah, exactly. Bill was very, very good off the cup. He was the best marketeer, the guy that would come up with all kinds of stuff. He came up, I used the 4 E's. Bill came up with that. And then he would come up with these things, and then we forget that he would come up with these ideas.
The 4 E's?
Yeah, the 4 E's would be the movies. A great movie is entertaining, educational, engaging, emotional, empathetic. You know, if it was bad, I would say it's empty.
Oh, okay.
No one's used that, so I used it. Oh. I've been using it for years.
I remember when I saw, what was it, All About Me? Is that the one with where the girl wins the lottery and she buys her own program on cable access?
Yeah.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I liked it. He hated it.
Well, of course he hated it.
and so he had asked me if I would write a review for it.
Yeah. Did you?
No, I chickened out.
Why?
Because I don't know. I just did. I hadn't even done any of this radio stuff yet. So.
Well, he liked you because you're a redhead.
Yeah, I'm noticing the thing keeps stalling, so I don't know if that has to do with the light. Well, that's okay. I'm still taking baby steps. I'm still progressing. Hopefully, Brian afterwards, Brian will assist me in how I can upgrade without having to pay too much for new equipment. So any funny? Let's see, Shelley. Yep. Oh, they're having their own conversation in there. So Eric said he's heard plenty of interviews with Bill. Loved his wit. Yes.
Dirk Diggler was based on John Holmes. Yes. No, you're right. And that's Rudolph. Yep.
Rudolph. Did you know that Ron Jeremy was sort of a? Oh, okay. Wait. The last time I talked to Bill Margold from another show he did in January of 2017. Wait, what? The last time I talked to Bill Margold from. Wait, is that a typo?
That's probably the podcast that he did.
Yeah, he died. He died in January 2017.
Yeah, but he did 2 shows before that.
Oh, okay. So Randy, what show was it that you spoke to him on?
Is it the show that he died on?
Right, it's the show that he died on. That was on.
It was only 10, 15 minutes into that show. I can't, Shelley, I can't read what you're writing.
The last time, okay, heard plenty of. All right, all right.
Continue on.
Continue on. So, all right. So you started in April 1994, movies, reviews, and more. And what platform did you?
Public access. We're the first ones on public access to be accredited by the MPAA. So any of you don't know what the MPAA is, it's the Motion Picture Association of America. You have to be accredited to do interviews, to go to a lot of the screenings.
Oh, really?
And so Bill helped me get me accredited.
How is that done?
You had to, at that point, this is what they wanted. This is ridiculous, but this is what they wanted. You had to have 5 directors, like a Steven Spielberg. And this is what they said to me at this point. You have to have 5 major directors: Steven Spielberg, Francis Ford Coppola, anybody like that to write you a letter. And then you have to have 5 producers. Same thing, write you a letter so you can get accredited to the MPA. So I said, oh, that's interesting. So since I'm hosting and producing the show, why can't I have 5 directors from public access do that? Which is what I did. So those 5 directors, I got their names, gave it to Bill, we sent it in, he wrote a letter on my behalf, and I got accredited.
And so that's how, okay, so that was...
That's why I think differently now, because of that. Because there's no way you could do it the right way. It just was never going to happen.
Right.
Imagine that. And I had that letter for years until I lost my storage.
Losing storage, that's a whole nother show. That's a show for another time.
Yeah.
So wow, okay, so I didn't know that.
Yeah, to be on the list even today, it's really tough. You have to be accredited. You don't necessarily have to, but if you want to sit down and talk to Brad Pitt, it's not going to happen unless you're accredited.
So it's different. Okay, so for people that have podcasts now, where
same thing, you got to have certain numbers.
Okay, so
and that's kind of what I tell you all the time also.
Right, but as we know, I'm starting from baby land here. So back when you started doing the movies, reviews, and more show on cable access, you had to be accredited. What's the comparison to that now, since there's not really cable access anymore? Now
there is none. Back in the day, if you guys remember, your TV was set to channel 3 because of the VCRs. Public access was on channel 3.
Right.
So I had a lot of people see our show. It was fun.
Oh, because when you had to turn on your VCR, or there you would be
set to channel 3.
Interesting. That's okay. And how many years were you on cable access?
We did over 100 shows because we used to do 2 half-an-hour shows a week.
Okay. Now, when I first met you, which we met. She was
trying to have sex with me, and I turned her down. I just couldn't do it because I was ashamed at that point.
It was at the buffet line.
What buffet line?
It was at the craft services table at Bill's Memorial.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It's funny.
You must be thinking about a different redhead in a different hat.
No, it's only you.
I just remember going up to the buffet table and I this is you, and I came up from the other direction, and you didn't even look up from your plate, and you're like, "Hello, Melissa Hill." I'm like, hi.
I remember that.
Who might you be? And you just kept going. You said, "Oh, Bill used to talk about you all the time." And I said, "Still not quite sure that I trust you yet. Tell me more." And then I don't remember everything you said after that, but then I was like, "Okay, all right."
You were shocked.
Yes, I was very shocked. I was very shocked. If it, Bill used to say to me all the time, he always used to wonder out loud, why is it that he and I never met when I started my career?
Why was that?
Well, if you ask him, he'll say that I know why Reb kept you away from me. He knew I'd fall in love with you. And I'm like, well, there's also the fact that I was only 24. So, but I think the first time I actually really remember talking to him, because I didn't live down in LA with everybody else. I would work down here, and then I'd go home up to Northern California.
Right.
And back then, the way you learned about the industry was reading the ABN, in which I mentioned last week, used to come in paper or thick. Yeah. It used to be a pretty thick magazine. Now it still comes out, but it's not the same as it was before.
It used to be like that.
Yeah. And I remember the flag poster,
which is what he created.
What he created, it was for the Free Speech Coalition, fighting for. Wait, I can't remember the exact words, but when I look at it, it gives me chills. To this day, and he's always so proud that his Viper was on the back, right? And it was a recreation of the
flying the flag of Iwo Jima.
Battle of Iwo Jima, right? And it's a shame, actually, that the Free Speech Coalition has kind of moved away from that, because, I mean, it meant something.
Well, it's understandable. It didn't make sense, and he was very hurt by that.
Yeah.
It's like if you ever create something and then an organization comes in and takes it away from you, the stuff that you created, and you didn't want anything to begin with from that, that's upsetting.
Right. Same with the XRCO, right?
Well, he gave XRCO to, what's his face in Ohio? What is that guy's
Dirty
name?
Bob.
The Dirty Bob. This is what Bill used to do. He used to give it to people because he was very generous and he wanted to see other people succeed. But what happened is, like, if you give someone to someone who's coming up and all of a sudden they stop listening to you, they go a different way, well, that's upsetting. That's what used to happen all the time.
Well,
he and I would have many conversations like, Bill, why do you do this? These people are just going to come and take your baby away and just run with it and then kick you away.
Right. I remember he said that, because wasn't he partners with Jim Holiday? That he was the co-creator.
He and Jim had a great relationship with things.
And when Jim passed away, that's when he gave it to.
Yeah, they started the XRCO together, X-Rated Critics Organization together.
No, it wasn't Fight Against Censorship.
Well, it was fighting against censorship.
No, but it's he is in quotes, so it was
it's fighting for your freedom.
Yeah, it was something like that, fighting for your freedom, or protecting your freedom, or something like that. Craft service, okay. Bad idea giving aim to share. Well, all right, we're not going to go there.
Well,
this is a movie. This is a movie one. We're not going to talk about medical stuff.
Well, like I said, he gave stuff to people, and a lot of times they didn't know what to do with it.
I actually. So is that true? He gave AIM to Sharon? I did not know that. I thought she created it.
No, she tells people that she did. No, Bill created AIM.
Oh, I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah.
I just
Sharon didn't create that.
I just remember
she tended to make it her own after a while, because it's you if you didn't know Bill and then you have something else come in, it's one of those things where it's yours, so you want to put your own stamp on it. So you're trying to get rid of everything that was associated with someone else. That's normal. But you can never say that you created something when you really did. Sharon can say everything all she wants. That's not the case, and that wasn't true.
Right.
And she wasn't a doctor when she was saying a doctor. She went to school to become a doctor. It happened later.
Right. Okay. Wait, I'm going to make sure that this TV doesn't flip on.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Well, I remember she was going to school to be a counselor. I just see this TV thing is going to do something, and I don't want the TV to turn on. Oh, it's underneath the book. Well, we'll deal with it later. Anyway, so what I thought was that AIM was the closest thing to a union that the industry had, because at that time there were a lot of union meetings to create. I knew that was going to happen.
Well, no. So here's the thing that happened with that. AIM was not the closest thing to a union. It was one of the things that was helpful, getting everybody to go for the test and everything like that. Back in the day, you had to have your testing, so you had to test every 30 days. And it was really good. That was the best testing. And then, things change and stuff happens.
Right. Did he know Jim Holiday? Well, we kind of said he was a partner with him. Years ago, it was obscenity. Now it's hate speech. And there we go. See, now inflammatory talk, they're the ones that said, why don't you guys do a movie show? here it is.
Well,
but we sort of went off on a
I can
tangent.
do anything, so it's just a matter of what she asked me.
We went off on a tangent. Okay, so let's get back on track.
You went off track.
I know. Well, I was, their guys' fault. It's their fault.
Don't blame the fans. Bill would always say, if it weren't for the fans, you wouldn't be where you were.
I know. A doctor my ass. Okay. All right. So I'm wondering who this person is. It seems to know an awful lot. Brew Pat. Margold was instrumental in the testing regimen. Didn't know that, and I was looking for any funny holiday stories. LOL. Okay. I don't know Jim. I didn't know Jim Holiday. He only liked blondes, and I wasn't blonde.
Jim Holiday was funny because he always wore dark sunglasses
and white pants.
And he was a good director, and he did that. So he liked Jill Kelly. Did you know her?
Yes, of course I knew Jill Kelly. I had a crush on Jill.
Jill Kelly, Julie Aston. Oh, he liked them a lot.
Right.
Those series were really good.
He used to ask me all the time if I would ever consider dyeing my hair blonde, or even he's like, well, could you go strawberry blonde?
And you don't want to do it?
No, because that would require bleaching my hair.
But he would have paid you a lot of money.
Well, he didn't get into that part.
Well, because you didn't take the chance. It's too late now.
It's too late now. I mean,
It's just like a casting person said, would you ever do this? And you might get a little bit extra. You would have been a VCA girl.
VCA didn't like me. They didn't.
Yeah,
like
but
me.
Jim did. Jim did whatever he wanted to do.
For whatever reason, when I did some movies for VCA, but when I got hired to be on a box cover, and when I showed up, the girl who I think her name was Marianne or something, and she didn't like me for whatever reason, and she would axe me off of whatever box cover I was hired to be on. I did a box cover.
But if you wanted Jim's girls, he would have fought for you. He would have just taken that away.
I didn't know.
And then there was a great female director from VC. I can't remember her name. It wasn't Gloria Leonard. It was somebody else, and we became friends.
Veronica Hart?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Veronica Hart.
Right. She liked me as well.
But it was her other stage name.
Oh, I forget I can't remember which ones.
Yeah.
There's a couple of performers. Sometimes I can't remember which one's their performer name and which one's their.
She did great movies.
Yes, she did. She did. And she still works on set. Mm-hmm. So, okay. We're going to do Hollywood movies. I didn't know we were going to do adult movies. Who didn't have a crush on Jill Kelly, right? He wanted to know about the taboo movies. I want to. All right. Do you know anything about the taboo movies?
Well, he has to be more specific.
Right. You have to be more specific there, Mr. Inflammatory Talk. He said, no, VCA wasn't all the companies back then shot backdoor stuff. He's saying that VCA was an anal company, probably wouldn't work. I worked for private.
I love private stuff.
Yeah, I worked for private, and I didn't do any stuff.
Or what she remembers.
Ha ha. Moment of silence for Cal Jammer. Who are you? Who is this person? Who are you? You need to identify yourself right now. You must identify yourself. Yes, moment of silence for Cal Jammer. He was a nice guy. Yeah. I only met him a couple times. Here's to you, Cal. Your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try reconnecting. Oh, poop.
That's fine.
It could be because
we're pre-retrograde. Stuff's gonna happen.
Right. All right. So let's. Okay. So now we're going to segue now. We're going to go into that type of topic, retrograde, and the the powers from other dimensions.
Yeah.
You mentioned that since we were talking about Bill, you mentioned that
I talked to him once.
You talked to him once.
Yep. I'm almost ready to talk to him again.
And how was that? How did that conversation take place?
He happened to come through one of my friends, who's a channeler and a healer, And it was very interesting because I didn't know it was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And he came through, and I took the notes down as I was walking around in Las Vegas. And Bill would swear a lot, not on purpose, but just in general. My friend does not swear.
Mm-hmm.
So when it was all over, he goes, "Why do I feel I have to wash my mouth out with soap?"
Right.
Because I'm like, "My old co-host came through you." He goes, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, Bill was saying all kinds of stuff."
Really quick, so apparently we had a note come up on the screen that said that the connection wasn't stable, so they had to relaunch. So sorry about that. Don't know why, but that's what happened. So I just I just turned on my little what do you call it, hotspot to try to make up for, because there's too many items on the internet on the wireless. Okay, so you were saying, so you're doing a reading and the person said that your co-host came through?
Oh no, he came through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was Bill, because it's just things that he would talk about, that my friend, because they never met. They didn't know each other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a professional. It wasn't a.
No, he's one of my good friends.
It was a casual setting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
well,
okay.
no, I was walking around. It was on the phone.
Uh-huh.
It was very interesting.
Oh, so wait, you were on the phone with your friend,
Uh-huh.
and then your friend just changes the conversation and says, "This."
Yeah,
This.
he started talking. "Hey, kid, what's going on?"
Oh, so he was channeling.
Yeah.
Bill. Oh,
Uh-huh.
wow.
He talked about the TV Academy and movies, and which I thought was very interesting, because it's energy.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we're thinking of someone who used to be alive as in human form. That's not the case.
Right.
It's very interesting.
Well, I always consider life, it's sort of like a light bulb.
It is a light bulb. It's energy.
Right.
It's like that.
Right. So even if the
plus they can be in many different realms and many different universes at the same time, if that makes sense.
Realms and universes. So you're talking about like a another dimension that.
Yeah, there's many different dimensions and things like that.
Okay, explain.
Well, there's an Earth. Well, who's to say that there's not another Earth where I may be a woman or I may be white?
You're talking about like a parallel universe?
Yeah.
But how is it you?
This is if you believe in things like that. Not everybody does. There's people on planet Earth who still believe the Earth is flat. Okay,
so this person is saying, as an atheist, he's having trouble believing this. But I don't think this isn't a religion. This isn't a religious thing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, like I just said, there's people on planet Earth who don't believe the Earth is round.
Right.
There's people who don't believe in climate control. It doesn't matter.
Climate change.
And that too. But here's two things. I know from traveling around the world, I know when it's 32 degrees in California, Southern California, that's not normal.
Right.
When it's 32 degrees in Georgia at the same time as in California, that's not normal.
Right.
So I don't care what people believe. This is what's happening. And again, It doesn't matter. My job is not to sway you. It's easier to sway someone than it is to change their mind.
Right. Or not even sway someone, just sort of open your mind to maybe considering, or maybe.
Some people aren't connected. Some people are disconnected.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Well, I know the Earth, like trees, people that have been listening to the show for, I know I have a thing about trees and the underground root network and how they communicate with each other through the roots.
And some people don't believe that.
Right. And it's like when you take down or chop down or I don't want to say kill a mother tree, her underground root systems, she will send messages to her was it not saplings? Was it to her? Well, to her type of trees. She won't send the nutrients to other trees, only trees of her kind. So this is something that I learned. I know sounds. We're gonna one day I'm gonna have the environmental scientist come up back onto the show. I've had her on the show a couple times already, and each time I talk to her, I learn something new. Which, another segue, even though we're supposed to be talking about movies.
Well, here's the thing. Think of Ghost. Did you ever see the movie Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg, Demi Moore, Patrick Swayze?
Yes.
Did you like that film? That went on Whoopi won an Oscar. What was she? She was a psychic. People.
Well, no, but she was playing like a scam psychic at first, right?
Yeah, but she really could do that. Her character. She just. What happens with a lot of them? They refuse to believe that they can do that because it's scary.
Mm-hmm.
Sooner or later, they come into it saying, "Oh, it's not that bad." That's how they were born with it.
Right. I would just think.
And think of this: Heaven Can Wait, 1978. Heaven Can Wait with Warren Beatty,
mm-hmm.
where he dies on the football field. He comes back to play in another person's body.
Right.
Great movie.
And then there was the Ghost Whisperers, which was based on a true life person. Molly, you in danger. Trees are racist.
People are racist, right?
Einstein discussed the possibility of other dimensions. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Back to movie. Here is a little Oscar trivia for you guys. This is from Randy. Did you know that the film Midnight Cowboy from 1969 became the first
with his first X-rated film? Is that what he's saying?
Yeah.
I didn't even have to read it. I already knew it.
So only X-rated film to win an Academy Award. I did not know that it was an X-rated film, but that brings me to another similar topic, that the Vanity Fair Top 100, was it Vanity Fair? No, wait. Yeah, Vanity Fair Top 100.
You mean Vanity Magazine?
Or no, wait.
Variety.
I'm sorry. Variety Top 100. Mm-hmm. In 1977, one of the number 12 was a X-rated movie. It was I think with Annette Haven.
Well, at one point, people had to go see Deep Throat in 1972. Someone had to review it on the mainstream side, right?
Right.
Lucille Ball went to go see it. A lot of celebrities went to go see it. You had to go see those movies in the movie theaters at that point.
Right.
You didn't have links or VHS tape at that point.
Which is actually the way when I was a kid, when we had a VCR, the reverse VCR, my dad used to go and rent movies and he would record them, which is not legal, but I guess it's okay to record it just as long as you don't broadcast it for
because you always had the profit. FBI warnings in before that.
Right. So, so I would pop the movies into the VCR, and to me, I remember watching 8 is Enough. Mm-hmm. And there was an episode of 8 is Enough where Nicholas and his friend go to the Pussycat Theater. And outside the theater was one of those triangle, I forget what they're called, the stands like this, and it said XXX. And I asked my mom, what is that? What is XXX? And she just said, oh, it's just the next rating above R. So that's what I always thought. Oh, X-rated movie is just the next rating above R. Not a big deal.
Well, so
but that's how
that wasn't true.
But that's how I always thought of it. Right. So when I started in the industry, that's what I want. To me, it was, it's just the next rating above R. Mm-hmm. Movies were a little bit different by the time I came around, but in my mind, that's what I remembered.
Yeah.
From being younger. Okay. So, all right. So now we're going to go back. So you started doing April 1994, movies, reviews, and more on public access or cable access with Bill Margold, and he helped you get accredited.
Yeah.
And so now that you were accredited,
now we're invited to go to screenings.
So do you have to seek people out? At the beginning, when you first started, did you have to seek people out, or how did that work? How did you get to where you are today?
Well, you have to go. You get invited on a list to go see a movie. Like tonight, I had a chance to go see 2 different movies in 2 different places. Mm-hmm. You can't be in 2 different places at the same time.
One of them was here.
Yeah, so I chose to come here, even though I wanted to go to a movie. I didn't want to let Melissa down.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah. So that was that. So, when you go see the movie, then they go, hey, would you like to interview so-and-so from the film? Well, of course. And that's how you start.
Okay. So it's all arranged through the publicist. All right. Mm-hmm. So tomorrow, you might possibly be going to go to a screening to make up for the one that he didn't get to see today.
Yeah. But I want to see it because I want to know what's going to happen with it.
Okay. Now, we're talking about the movie that we mentioned last week, Cliffs of Freedom, which sounds really gory to me.
It could be interesting.
It could be interesting. So is that a genre that do you?
I watch any movie still.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I watch any movie still is because I know a lot of people still can't do it. And I came up with this back in the 90s. You know, there's certain people that can't watch horror films. Well, I don't watch a horror film after 9 o'clock at night, but I can put a horror film on while I'm working and I could just watch it because I won't be fully subjected to it anymore because it will affect me. The movies do affect you, your subconscious and your conscious. They do.
Yes.
And it's just like when I'm sleeping at night, because I don't sleep a lot, but when I'm sleeping, my brain is still active. So I have to put on like a documentary or something to calm me down, to put me to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell people you have insomnia. Yeah. Watch a foreign film or go to the movies. I bet your ass will fall asleep.
Right. Now, not all movies cost $15. You know, you can
go do a day.
I mean, here
I go to matinees.
And then you can even find, I know here in
California.
The
movie started in California, Southern California, as early as 10:30 in the morning.
Right, but there's also the discount theaters where you can go see a movie
for $2 or $3.
Exactly, for $2 or $3, maybe one that's not, you know,
after, you know, say after 3 or 4 weeks, you could see that first run film for $2 or $3. That like Regal's Theater, the Valley Plaza 6.
Right, exactly. Well, I didn't want to announce where we were.
It doesn't matter as long as people go see movies, right?
So of course, Shelly, I'm going to tell him. So my friend Shelly says, "Tell him how I messed you up with the zombies." Yes. No, it was Shelly, my friend Shelly here, got me into The Walking Dead and the zombie movies. We went and saw World War Z. That movie,
I like World War Z.
Great movie. Fucked me up, messed me up, because he said one day it's going to happen.
It's possible.
Oh, great.
Well, it's possible because of climate control. If people, you know, keep doing what they're doing, that's why I'm buying my property, as you know.
Right.
What did I tell you? Net zero sustainability, eco-friendly, fresh water from the mountain. Think of The Walking Dead. You know,
right.
Why are zombie movies and vampire movies do well? Because it's a reality. They always do well.
When I saw, okay, there's a couple things here. We're going to go back to that question, favorite documentary. So think about that.
I find soccer to be the best insomnia cure. That's funny.
Soccer?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I have a theater. Okay, that's funny. Yes, Shelly's like, I can't wait. Great.
Favorite Korean War film? Taegakgi.
What?
Excellent
Where's that
film.
one?
Taegakgi.
Oh, I'm giving him a movie tomorrow. Someone says Melissa owes you a movie. Favorite Korean War film. You know what, guy? Where does he comes up with just the most obscure questions?
Taegakgi.
Wow.
I bet she hasn't seen it. It's an excellent World War II film.
Okay, my favorite foreign film was I can't remember how to pronounce it. It was the Double Vie de Veronique, The Double Life of Veronica.
Oh yeah. Well, that was good.
I
remember that.
Yeah, I really liked that.
The original Manchurian Candidate is good. Not the remake, the original, yes.
What's the Manchurian Candidate? I was young for that.
It had Frank Sinatra in it.
Brothers of War.
Brothers of War is okay. It's all right.
Okay, so since we're talking about war movies, what's your favorite? I'm gonna just go.
Ken Burns. Ken Burns is one of my favorite directors.
Well, you have to read the question out so that.
Well, currently watching the Vietnam War documented by Ken Burns. Highly recommended. It's very, very good.
My favorite core is MASH.
See, I hated MASH.
Now, okay, so in the 80s, they had a lot of Vietnam movies. There was Full Metal Jacket.
There was Platoon.
There
was Hamburger Hill.
And then there was
Well, Hamburger Hill might have been. Well, I'm sorry. Well, yes, yeah. Hamburger Hill was the late 80s or the 90s.
Now, TAPS wasn't necessarily Vietnam, but it was a military school type movie. Out of all of those, which ones were your favorite? Why?
That one would have been Platoon.
Platoon.
Because of Oliver Stone.
Oh, okay. The music, I remember the music in that.
Oliver Stone, and on the cover is Willem Dafoe being shot.
I remember the music of Platoon was so what's the word I'm looking for? Like it's
Well,
you recognize it right away, and it hits you.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about movies affect you, music affects you, and I wouldn't even have to see. I went and saw Platoon. I snuck into the theater or something. I think I was 17. I fell asleep.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why I fell asleep. I did.
See, I fell asleep at the third Harry Potter film. I watched it in London. I watched it here, and I watched it someplace else, and I fell asleep. But then I finally got through it the fourth try.
Okay, for storyboarding class, I storyboarded 2 scenes from Full Metal Jacket. That was from Nick. And Inflammatory Talk says, okay, Ralph, who is the New York person who has the Monday night movie review show, Hamburger Hill was released in 1987. Okay. MASH. Okay. See, I know MASH as the TV series. Sorry. Well, I found out afterwards.
So the guy Randolph. So Green Berets, that was a good film by John Wayne. That was a good one, you know. Yeah.
Samuel Barber, Adagio for Strings. What's that?
I remember that film.
That was submitted by Carl, who obviously just created his profile so that he could type his question.
Exactly.
And let's see. Speaking of Platoon, I was the only kid in 5th grade that saw that. Wow. I was the only kid in 2nd grade that saw Saturday Night Fever, the R-rated version.
Really?
Yeah. My parents took me. We saw Saturday Night Fever, and then we went and saw the PG version, which was terrible. I just remember.
Oh, that's terrible. It was terrible.
You're right. I just remember the scene where Angie, the girl, when they fall over the bridge, and she goes, "You fuckers," and then in the PG version, it's "you fakers." I was like, that's not the same. All right. So you just were at the Oscars. Tell us about that.
Well, I didn't go to the Oscars. I chose not to. I don't want to be bored to death. It wasn't that. I went to the City Gala to support my co-hosts, which was at the Marriott in Burbank. I didn't want to do anything because I was busy doing the gifting suites and stuff like that. I just wanted to stay at home and watch the Oscars.
Okay, so all right, so you weren't at the Oscars on the day of, but you were in the Oscar. Like I
was there at the hotel and all that stuff.
Yeah. What's that like for people that don't live in the area?
Lots of security.
Backtrack. So it's in Hollywood, and leading up to the Oscars, like the week before, what takes place? You have to shut everything down.
That whole week before you get into the Oscars at Hollywood Highland, for those of you who've been to California, it's shut down because of security purposes. So think of the Super Bowl and the Oscars, whatever one you want to put it to front, is the biggest event in the world. World Cup would be 3rd or 4th. I think WrestleMania is there, and then you have the Final Four like that, in that order, like that.
So I know when they do the overhead shot of the street, I don't know if the people who don't live here might realize that's Hollywood.
It's Hollywood Boulevard.
Hollywood Boulevard that they shut down, and then they bring the bleachers out and put the red carpet out on the street.
Yeah.
And then it's covered.
Yeah.
So
in
case it rains, which it did. It did
1 year.
Yeah. Now I've never been there. I personally, being that I live here, I don't go into Hollywood. I try to avoid Hollywood anytime after Thursday. Don't go into Hollywood after Thursday. So I've never even really been around that type of thing. But what was that like your first time?
Well, it's a long day for one. It's exciting because not everybody's invited to it. It's like being invited to the premiere party. You have to be invited to it. You remember Oscar nominations. Oscar nominations are great. Oscar nominations, they used to be like the 3rd week of January, something like that. And then so you go to, it's on Doheny and Wilshire. You go to the Academy. Beautiful place.
The Academy of Motion Pictures?
Yeah. Okay. It's right there in Doheny and Wilshire.
So the Academy is a building. The Academy is a club.
Yeah, because you can have. It's a building. It's kind of like a private club. That's where they actually work out of. You could actually. It's got a 2,000 seating screening room up there, which is beautiful. You can have galas and stuff there. But early in the morning, at 5:30 in the morning, West Coast time. Yeah, 5:30 in the morning West Coast time. You have the Oscar nominations, but you're there at 3:30 in the morning.
Oh, so you've been there?
Oh yeah, 3:30 in the morning. Every press outlet that's invited to do that get the Oscar nomination. So you get an envelope of what's in there. You get it at the end once everything has been announced. And then you have two celebrities that come out, and they're literally there. They read the nominations off.
But they read all of them, or just the main?
They just read the main ones, like the best picture
right.
and all that stuff.
Okay, so what was so this year before the Oscars there was a controversy, not the fact that there was no host, but that they were going to announce certain categories off camera, or
they were going to do that, and then they got so much flack that they had to change it back, because they always talk about that it's a 4-hour show, sometimes 4 hours and 15-minute show. But you have music acts, you have all that stuff. So they found out this year by not having a host, it actually, the ratings went up and it was cut down.
Right. So now I'm wondering, do you think what's the talk on the street in the movie?
It's too early to
movie
say,
world.
But it's one of those things where if it worked, why not keep it the same? Will they do it like that again? Probably not.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, it seemed like it was more efficient.
They're gonna want to go back and try having a host to see what will happen, and then they're gonna realize, well, maybe we could try it again. Maybe you could do it every other year and not have a host, and it might work. It worked. People liked it. Did you watch it?
I did. We had it on.
You did not.
I had it on. And I did watch it. There was a couple of categories I was in the restroom for, but I heard. I liked the opening, Queen. That was pretty amazing. Seeing Brian May come out, the stage, the smoke, and the first person you see come out is Brian May wearing tennis shoes, jeans, and a button-down shirt. And I asked my friend, I was like, does he always dress like that? And he says, it's Brian May. He wears whatever he wants.
So I'm going to read these off really quickly.
Okay.
There's one from my first R-rated movie, Witness, Kelly McGinnis. Well, yep, she's beautiful. There's another, Witness was a great film. Yes, it was. The one and only Melissa Hill. We don't know who she is. My first R-rated film was Blazing Saddles. Excellent film. Blazing Saddles is right. From Inflammatory Talk couldn't be made today, but it's still a classic.
Yeah, that was a topic of discussion on the social media sphere. That how that movie couldn't be made today. Before you finish reading, explain.
What?
Why couldn't that movie be made today? Because there's there's people that haven't seen it.
You can't take the chances of. You can't say the N-word. It's just there's just too many things, and everything is corporate these days. You can't take chances, which is why I love taking chances. I learned to take chances by being around Bill.
All right, going back. So Ralph asks, what new award should the Academy add? I think one for Best Stuntman. Oh.
Well, the stuntmen have their own.
They have Stuntman Awards.
People do acknowledge that. And they should have their own category, which is true, because without stuntmen, you wouldn't have a lot of great films,
Right. And just a little side note, it would be great if the adult industry would acknowledge more people from behind the camera, crew guys, lighting, because they got camera
good luck with that.
Right. Good luck with that, because there's plenty of people that have, dedicated their adult lives to filming behind the scenes. Oh, okay. Now they're having a conversation. Good to some old-fashioned rock at the Oscars. That's from Todd Green. Millennial. Okay, wow. Now what did I say? They got everything going. Porky's.
You're talking about movies.
Porky's.
Here's what Bill said.
Mm-hmm.
There's no right or wrong answer, kid, when it comes to movies. And that's a good one. And I still say that to this day. Because look what they're talking about. You have a whole conversation on movies, and that's the great thing about that.
Someone mentions that the beans and campfire scene from the Blazing Saddles could be made. Could be made in any era. There was an indie film called Cannibal the Musical that they had sort of a scene like that. And this light is killing me. Can you be a conservative?
Well, here's the question. Yes, that one. Can you be a conservative in Hollywood today? Well, there are conservatives. They're just very careful, unless you're a Bruce Willis, a John Voight.
You have James Woods.
James Woods, I like James Woods. We've had great debates.
Mm-hmm.
He's very smart.
Right.
There's a lot of them. Billy Baldwin, conservative. There's a lot of them.
Do they work as often as the liberals?
Well, yeah. Where's John Voight on?
No, I'm just saying in
He's on Donovan.
Donovan.
Yeah, on Showtime.
Oh, I don't have Showtime.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. Here's one. All right. So favorite bad movie? My vote is the Super Mario Brothers movie. That's quite interesting because I walked out of that film. And here's the thing. I don't want to walk out of any film because I'm thinking of all the people that work behind the scenes. You never go in to make a bad film. The people who work on a film. It just happens to be that way. So what happens from that? I had to go see another screening. So I was like backing out. I'm backing out. When's this movie going to end? When's it going to end? And then I had to leave because I couldn't wait any longer.
I walked out of the movie with Dennis Rodman.
Okay, I can see that. But here's the other thing. Sometimes as a critic, you got 3 movies in one day in 3 different locations. One could be in Santa Monica, one could be in Beverly Hills, one could be in Hollywood.
So are you assigned then, or do you like?
No, I see everything. I'm not assigned anything. I see everything.
Okay, so
where certain writers are assigned to go see a film.
Okay.
Sometimes you have to see. Sometimes you have 2 writers, sometimes 3, and one writer will see one will see another one because you might have them on different days. One, it might be Kevin Thomas. For the people from Kevin Thomas, he was the B writer, so he saw all the B films. You know, Kenneth Turan saw all the A films. I saw everything.
Because you worked for yourself?
Well, I always thought you had, well, that's true, but I always thought you had to see every film.
Uh-huh.
That was not the case. I found that out with Kevin Thomas. Because the B films at the Royal Theater in Santa Monica, Santa Monica, they would have screenings at 10 o'clock in the mornings, and there'd be like 4 of us, and Kevin Thomas was one of them. And usually he would fall asleep, and we go, "So what happened?" I fell asleep on what I would remind him on a couple of things, which is kind of funny. And then I say, "Kevin, did you see Braveheart?" "No, I wasn't assigned to see that film." I'm like, "What? You have to be assigned to see Braveheart?" "Yeah, our A writer saw that one. I didn't see that one." I'll say, "You've never ever seen it?" "Nope."
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, through my peripheral vision, I'm seeing the scroll going really fast here. Okay, James Woods, blah blah blah.
You know what? The Raid is a very, very good film. Yes, so that's Ralph Terry. I love The Raid. The first Raid. The second one wasn't as good as the first one.
Up here, somebody asks, as a critic, what is the one factor that contributes the most to whether you feel that a movie is great or even just good?
Say that again. Oh, I see.
As a critic, what is the one factor that contributes the most to whether you feel that a movie is great or even just good?
Well, it goes back to if you were on earlier, it goes back to the 4 E's that Bill created.
Okay.
A good movie, just like a good book or a good CD, is entertaining, engaging, engrossing, enlightenment, emotional, empathetic, all of those.
That's a lot of E's.
That's right. That's a good movie.
Oh, so the more E's that there are?
Yeah, I only want to use 4. That's why we call it the 4 E's.
Okay, well, okay, because I might confuse that.
I hope that answers your question.
I might.
Are there still movies with the sticky floors? Yes, because people spill their popcorn and kids spill everything on them. Yes.
Right. The Raid, let's see, movies are subjective to taste. That's why I enjoy discussing now. Hey, Internet Eric here, his channel, he discusses horror. So what I notice about his channel is that he does like Pet Sematary, Chucky type stuff, things that are...
Well, now you know there's going to be another Chucky coming out.
Yes, he knows.
Now, if you remember this, Eric, Chucky for Universal one year was their highest grossing film one year for Universal. Interesting, right?
Chucky was for
I think it was The Bride of Chucky.
Eric, would you know the answer to that?
It was that Universal had a bad year, and the Chucky film was the only film that made money for them.
Somebody said, okay, thanks. Tonight's show, aw.
That's funny.
Thank you.
So, what film would be released this year you are most looking forward to?
Yeah.
Any of the Marvel ones. The third Infinity War one, that will be actually pretty good. The movie about The Rock, I think it's a family affair about the wrestling, being in the wrestling business.
Wait, it's about The Rock?
The Rock is in it because he came from a family film. a family of wrestlers.
Oh, he did.
So this movie, which opens in, I think, the next week through MGM, is about a female wrestler who ends up being chosen to be a female wrestler when her brother actually wanted to be the wrestler.
Interesting that you choose that.
They are going to do a Dirty Harry. Someone asked if are they going to reboot Dirty Harry? Yes, they are. That's the answer.
Okay, so Ralph says no. It's about the wrestler Paige.
Right. That's true. But the brother was supposed to be the wrestler, not her.
Oh, okay.
It's almost like going to a casting call with your best friend. Hey, will you come with me? I'm nervous. And then that person doesn't get picked, but the friend who's just there to support her gets picked.
Right. Wow.
That happens all the time.
Oh.
That's why you shouldn't take your friends sometimes. They probably pick, but you know why? Because sometimes they have the look, sometimes they're relaxed.
Right. And Ralph says, to hell with the WWE.
Well, here's the thing. Guess who's the biggest wrestling superstar of all time? In the movies, it's The Rock. I was there in 2001 when he did Mummy Returns.
Right. What about that other guy who played like the Navy SEAL, the MMA?
John Cena?
Yeah. Oh, he's MMA, right?
No.
Is he wrestling?
Yeah.
Oh, he is not as The Rock, because the Rock, he does he does family films and he's got a likable face and he's a likable guy. And his brother, or not his brother, his cousin, who looks almost just like him, is a stunt guy.
Right.
I met that guy before.
Yes, I interviewed him. Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
he almost does look alike.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I had a friend of mine from high school is a stunt guy he was a pretty successful.
And I think he has the same tattoo on the same side too.
Okay. The kid that played Short Round in Temple of Doom just went with his brother who actually auditioned.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think they'll reboot Dirty Harry?
Yeah, they're going to.
They are.
Mm-hmm. They did Death Wish, so it's next.
How am I missing all this?
Because you're not going to the movies. What's the last movie you went to go see? See, when they have to think about it, it tells you a lot.
No, Bohemian Rhapsody.
When? You went to go see it because of Neil, probably. Besides that one, what's
before that, I saw A Star Is Born. It made me cry. I bawled my eyes out.
Because Neil had something to do with that one too, right?
No, because I wanted to see that one.
Did you like it?
Yes, I liked it.
Okay.
Okay. I also wanted to see Mary Poppins, but movies are expensive. I don't have income. I can't. But okay,
support this young lady.
Right. Thank you. When I start my Patreon channel, please. I disagree. Hulk Hogan's movies are the bomb. Well, they bombed anyway. That's from Luis.
Well, Hulk Hogan, they're doing an autobiography on Hulk Hogan. I think it's Chris Hemsworth who's playing the Hulk. See, and if you guys go on my page, you'll see a lot of the photos that I have of people.
And his page is on YouTube. It's spell it out for them.
You can go on my Facebook page, Brian Sebastian 169. Or you can go on my Instagram page, which is Drum Chorus Nut, DrumCorpsNut, Drum Chorus Nut.
And you'll see a lot of his red carpet photos.
Yeah, but you'll see more of the girls because it's not about me. And the reason I didn't put it underneath movie reviews and more because I love drum and bugle corps. That's why. I
figured that. I was in a steel drum band. But Ralph has another question here. What 80s film do you feel could be rebooted and still be good? And then after you give your answer, I'll tell you what his answer is.
Well, tell me his answer first.
He says he thinks that either The Last Starfighter or War Games.
War Games would be interesting to see now. That would be interesting. Well, the one that they did was Red Dawn.
I see. I know. Now, okay, trivia time. Red Dawn.
The second Red Dawn was better than the first one.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, see, I'm like
and it did well.
What do they call it? A naturalist? Like, I don't know if that's the correct term for it, but trivia time. Red Dawn was the first movie rated what? PG-13. It was the very first PG-13 movie.
That's funny. So who would play the Dirty Harry today? I would want to get someone new to play Dirty Harry.
Who's Scott Eastwood? Is that his?
That's Clint Eastwood's son.
Is that his son? Okay.
Yeah. You could take a chance on him, but I would go with somebody else.
Inflammatory Talk thinks he thinks that they should remake MASH and do the book.
Oh God.
Red Dawn was awful.
No, the second Red Dog was good.
I didn't see the second one. Now, what about Star Wars?
What about it?
Now, I've only seen the very first 3. Star Wars.
Well, I'm not were you a Star Wars fan? Because I'm not. But I love Star Wars.
But I've never seen any past the first 3. Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, or I'm sorry.
Did you like him?
The first 3, yeah.
Okay.
But
how come you didn't see the next ones?
Because I didn't want anything to do with Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, God. Well, never remake Star Wars, Ralph? Well, it's too late. Okay.
Nothing to do with Jar Jar Binks.
Was good. They can't remake Starship Troopers right now because they already did 4 of them already.
Oh, did they? What was that movie? What was that movie with where it's the crew, like sort of like the Star Trek crew, and they're at a convention doing an appearance, and then actual aliens come and get them, and it was with Sigourney Weaver.
Aliens.
Yeah, what was that movie? I know someone out here.
With her, it was Alien, and then
No. She was in a movie. It was and the guy from Last Man Standing, the comedian guy. What is it called? Starship Troopers.
Sigourney Weaver wasn't in that.
Yeah, she was. She was a blonde.
No, she was not. Sigourney Weaver. She wasn't in Starship Troopers.
Galaxy Quest.
Well, that was Tim. What's his face?
Tim Allen.
Tim
Allen. Yeah, it was Tim Allen.
That was a comedy.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying.
All right. So the reason I know a lot of these movies because I did all the interviews for all of these films, most of them.
Okay. Interviews in what?
I would interview all the celebrities.
For what? For
to help promote the film.
Now let's go back to the original thing, which was you have the Hollywood Film Festival. What is that?
I had the Hollywood.
Oh, you had the Hollywood Film Festival.
Yeah. So
is it
at that one point it was something that we were doing to find people who had films. If you directed a film or something like that, to help promote them, because I always like to find good films.
So was it an actual festival that took place?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So why did you stop doing it? Sorry.
One day a documentary will come out on it. It didn't go the way it should have gone.
How many years were you doing that?
I did it 2015 to 2017.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is off the cuff questions.
Well, I had to think about it. That's why.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't mean to bring up it was a bad or
it doesn't bother me.
Unpleasant, sad memory.
I'm still friends with a lot of people from them.
So okay, so it was a festival that you put on, or it was just?
Well, I worked for it, so I helped pick the movies. I did the interviews. It could have gone. You know how? Think of a startup. The startup, you get money coming in. Either it's going to make it or it's not. We had the chance to make it, and we didn't make it.
Oh, okay.
But if we made it, we would have been great. And you have to have funding.
Right. Right.
Sometimes when you're waiting for it, people can take their time. Again, free will. People could go either way.
Right. Exactly. So we're at 1:20 right now. Now let's see what else. The other thing that I noticed that you do, when I mentioned Brian's Instagram a few minutes ago, there's photos of you on like so many different red carpets. So, and not all of them are for movies. So can you explain that? What is that all about?
I wanted them to be different. I have 10 co-hosts. Well, 11 now.
For movies reviewed and more?
Mm-hmm.
So you have 10 co-hosts. Now I've noticed they seem to be, they're all female.
Mm-hmm.
Fitness.
Almost all of them.
Almost all of them.
Because you have to look good, you know. I mean, do you want someone who looks like she hasn't eaten in 10 days?
No, but that's
Melissa?
Excuse me, I'm looking at myself right now going, I feel a little chunky in this yellow shirt.
You look good.
You know, but it depends.
You got a little breast action going on there.
It's the it makes me I'm like, oh, I feel like a linebacker today. It's the
Well, you got strength there.
It's just leftover stuff.
No, you know, I like the world of fitness because it's about dedication and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I have one girl who's a great singer. I have 97 million followers on our social media network. 97
million?
Yeah,
so you're not exaggerating. 97 million.
No, of course not. No, 97 million followers in my social media network. I have some influencers who are really, really good friends.
Now, okay, this is a question I've been wanting to ask. You travel around, you do all these things. You're an influencer, yet you live.
I wouldn't say I'm an influencer.
But you just said that. You just said that.
People say that I am, but I don't think I am.
Okay, so according to some, you are considered to be an influencer.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
You were just in Atlanta, Georgia, doing red carpet.
I was doing the Super Bowl for Sportamix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
you guys ever heard of Lee Steinberg? So Jerry Maguire, have you heard of that movie? So Lee Steinberg is based on Tom Cruise playing him. One of the best sports agents ever in the history of sports. So Lee is still around. So Lee does stuff with us for Sportamix now.
So what's Sportamix?
Sportamix is one of the things, like if you have a nephew who might, it doesn't matter if he's age 4. Think of when Tiger Woods was first on TV. He was on TV at age 4, swinging a golf thing. Look where Tiger Woods went. He's worth $790 million. He would have been on $1 billion if he didn't have to go through a divorce.
Right.
But look where his career went.
Right.
He started at the age 4. You know how long he's been playing golf for? Knee injuries, back,
right.
That's a long time. Your body can't take all of that swinging and the torquing and stuff like that.
Right.
So think of LeBron James, where he started. Someone discovered him, and they had tape on him from his sophomore year in high school. Look where LeBron James is now.
Right.
He's a media mogul now.
Okay.
So Sportamix is based on stuff like that. You can see someone who might be coming up in the world of sports. It could be cricket in India, and there may not be anybody who's paying attention to this person. But through Sportamix, you can be that parent, that agent, that coach, or a friend said, hey, we got someone and we think it looks good. That's what it's about, tracking that person and say, hey, let's give him a chance to do something.
So Sportamix, it's an event, or is it a thing?
It's a thing.
It's an idea. It's an idea. It's an idea. And
you heard of the Williams sisters, Serena and Vanessa?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. They started in Compton. It was the dad that trained them, right? They didn't have money to get a professional tennis coach like they do in Florida.
Right.
Look where she is now.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
That's what Sportamix is about. Someone took the chance on the Williams sister. It was the dad. The dad trained his daughters. Look where they are.
Okay. So
does that make sense?
I'm still kind of a little confused. I'm like, is this a sport?
How is that confusing?
Because I'm not. It's an idea, but so
no, it's a reality.
Okay.
Someone took Tiger Woods and
no.
The
Sportamix. The Sportamix.
That's what Sportamix is about.
Okay, so but is it an industry? Is it an event?
It's an event.
Okay,
yeah.
It's an event. All right.
It's an event that's starting.
Okay.
So that's why I was there, interviewing people, sports people that I didn't necessarily know, who in the sporting world you would know who they are.
Right.
But when I turn around, I'm like, well, I know he's someone, but I don't know.
Okay.
You ever been on a red carpet or you see someone and you're like, well, who's that person you're talking to?
Yes.
Until you see someone on the scroll, you don't know who it is.
Right. Well, no, that's why I have Shelly.
Well, yes. Well, okay, so this is interesting. Inflammatory talk. I hear Mickey Rooney and Jerry Lewis were the biggest narcissists in Hollywood. Milton Berle was hung like a mule. That's true. I like Milton Berle. Milton Berle was responsible for me coming into the Friars Club. So I was the third minority to be inducted into the Friars Club.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was, it was a real estate agent was the first one. Fred something he was a football player, was the first, and I was the third. Whoopi Goldberg, Sammy Davis Jr. were honorary members. We were full-time members.
Oh, so what is a Friars Club?
Friars Club was started where a lot of the comics could have some place to go after they did their sex and then play cards.
So it's an actual location, an actual place.
Yeah. When you get a chance, look at the New York Friars Club in New York. They would go and they would roast people. Ever heard of the Friars roast?
Yes, I have.
Well, that's what it came out of.
I mean, because for instance, there's a person I know named Mike who's always talking about this Hall of Fame. He's like, "Where is this place? Is it an actual location, or is it an idea, or is it just something on paper?" So okay.
Yes, exactly. Ralph knows what it is.
I think I know what you're talking about. It's like back in the day when Archie Manning would bring his kids, Peyton and okay, Sportamix. Okay. Okay, thank you, Ralph.
So it's called Sportamix.com.
Okay, so all right, so
I liked Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rooney told me great stories on stuff. So it was an honor to meet a lot of these people. A lot of these people became friends. I didn't have their phone numbers, or, you know, you didn't have emails back then, but, you know, I knew their reps half the time. So I grew up in I was born at the right place at the right time, if that makes sense. But you don't know that when you're doing stuff.
Okay. But all right. So back to the question I wanted to ask, though, is that you travel around. You've just, since I saw you, I mean, you were in Las Vegas, you were in Atlanta, you were in Anaheim, and I know you've done other stuff in between there. Yet you seem to live a very simple life.
Yeah, I do.
Why is that? This is what been wanting to ask.
Well, the reason is because I'm creating things based on climate control, whether you believe in it or not, eco-friendly, sustainability, net zero, where you can't be relying on things and people as much these days. You have to be able to do things and do it your own way, if that makes sense.
Be a survivalist of some sort.
Well, it's not a survivalist. So like, do you want to keep eating processed food? We all know sugar is not good for you, right? People bring, you know, the president drinks Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi. How is that good? That's worse than that, right?
Right, exactly.
So we know when you take the sugar out, you feel better. Too much sugar is not good. So like this thing that I got from a gifting suite, this is all wood. I like this. This you could heat it up. It's recyclable, which is great. It's not plastic. It's good.
But you can't put this in a microwave, though.
Yes, you can.
Really?
Yeah.
Even with the metal?
Yeah. Why not?
Because it'll bounce off and. Okay.
No.
I thought you're not supposed to put metal in a microwave.
Well, this is not.
Okay, so we're at the hour and a half mark, and I want to, you know, we're in my friend's apartment, and I got to give him his apartment back. So as much as I'm enjoying the conversation, I do have to, unfortunately, bring it to an end. Are there any actresses? Todd, whoever you are. Well, people used to say, not anymore though, but what was her name? Kate Beckinsale. That was a big flat when I had long hair.
Well, also,
she's like 3 inches taller than me.
I was talking about in Underground or Underneath or whatever, that sci-fi film, that was actually pretty good.
Really? And I just found out her mother was a model. No wonder she's so beautiful. All right, so we're going to wrap it up really quick pretty soon. What else did you want to, what final thoughts, words, anything you have going on? How can these people find you? All that other kind of stuff. You
know, I would say, first of all, go to my YouTube channel and watch some of the videos, the interviews that we've done in the past. So it's youtube.com/movie reviews, the letter N more, movie reviews N more. And then it's a picture of me and George Clooney, so I'm easy to find. And look at some of the videos, you know, our radio shows, our movie shows, the fitness, you'll see all the girls that we have. And then Drum Corps Nut, so DRUMCORPSNUT. That's my Instagram, and you'll see that. Or else on Facebook, Brian Sebastian 169.
Okay, so I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And one thing I want to say is, I'm trying to do 3 things at once here. One thing I want to say is that eventually I am going to launch some sort of Patreon account or something, because you know, being a free agent has costs. And you know, if I want to upgrade the camera setup here, if I want to purchase lights, because this is what I'm going to show you. This is what I'm using right now. I'm using this tiny, oops, wait, let me turn it off. Don't want to strobe. I'm using this tiny little light right here that I'm borrowing. You know, and look at this little, this is a little tiny tripod thing that falls over. Yeah. So anyway, you know, I want to be able to buy my own lights. I want to be able to upgrade the camera thing. I want to be able to stream my stuff on you know, multiple platforms. So I've been starting to upload my stuff onto Tumblr, Vimeo. I found out Vimeo does live streams, so I might try to do a live stream through Vimeo. And then the Mixler thing that I tried tonight, I don't know if that went out or not. So afterwards, I'll find out if it actually broadcasted or not. You know, because all these these things, they start off free, but eventually if you want to upgrade, you know, you have to pay for an upgraded membership in order to have the ability to upload or to stream or, you know, broadcast more than 45 minutes at a time, things like that. Eric just subscribed. Now, subbed. When I would see that, I'm like, what is this subbed thing? Because I would think of submissives, dominant and submissive. He said he just subbed. He just subbed to your YouTube channel. Can't wait to check it out. He was a good guest.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and like and subscribe. I hate that when people go, you know what to do, like and subscribe. But as I found out, I tried to post my YouTube channel onto Facebook, and they blocked it. They told me it went against some sort of what was it?
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, so I guess, but I'm able to promote specific videos, but I guess not the channel overall. I don't know. And I couldn't find anything in the rules that said I couldn't do that, which was a little strange to me. Anyway, so on that note, I want to say thank you again to everybody. Thank you to Eric and to Ralph and to Shelley for being my moderators. You know, it's a thankless job, but it means a lot to me. User 600, I don't know. Oh,
Underworld. That's right, Ralph. Underworld. Great series.
Oh, so yeah, it was a good series. So thank you, Jewish producer. He said he's hooked on this podcast. I think, you know, I'm thinking now, it took me a while to get used to the fact that I didn't have a headphones and a microphone. And I was telling Brian earlier when he first got here, I said, because it's a whole different thing. You know, I after 3.5 years, I kind of, you know, the microphone became my friend. I would no jokes, guys, but you know, I would learn how to speak into it, how to change my voice, and I could do different sounds with my voice. And now I don't have that, and I can't hear myself anymore. So I'm kind of like, it's like starting over. So I feel like I'm just sitting here going, la, 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 yelling. Now I was trying to turn on this amp over here so that I could play my outro music, but it looks like I might just have to do it guerrilla style. On that note, oh, hello, Jim. You're welcome. Once again, I want to say thank you to Brian, and I'm going to catch up on this live chat here.
I'm caught up on it.
I know you are. That's the thing. Now, see, I thought about setting up my chair to be on that side, but I'm used to being when I was on that station.
Do you have a good side?
Well, yeah, this is my better side.
Of course.
But when I was on that station,
which we won't name.
Blankety blank blank blank. He's a refugee from there too.
Yeah.
I was going to I want to create a station called LA Rejects.
That's funny. Well, there's enough of them, right? There's more real.
There's more of us. We've got Lexington Steel, you, me, the drinkers in New Jersey. There's a few. Yeah. But anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in. Sounds pretty good this end. Let's see, Ralph Terry, the hell with LA. Yeah, I didn't say that. You said that. On that note, I'm going to play my outro.
Thank you guys for great questions. That was fun reading them.
Yeah, actually, I think that's what I was going to say. I think I'm liking the new. It's sort of a new
good. You got some good people there.
Yeah, incarnation here.
They're informative. That's good.
Right. You guys bring your wives and your girlfriends next. I need to see more ladies on here. I've not seen any ladies asking any questions, and I think when I was on that station, according to my Facebook profile, the statistics or the demographics I have, it's about 23% women and the rest are men. You know, to me, I'm like, oh, that's almost a third.
Where can people see this?
This is on YouTube. So, okay. But I don't have not until I have 100 likes, which I was at 96 likes before we went on the air tonight. So once I have 100 likes, I can customize the URL. So right now it's just the YouTube channel where you can find Melissa Hill Raw Talk is what it's called. But so hopefully after today, I'll probably be able to customize my URL and I can actually tell people.
Ralph Terry, he's funny. LA Talk business model is to lose hosts and listeners. That's true.
Jewish producer says this show needs to grow. Well, you know, I was on the station for 3.5 years, as I said, and ladies on social media is very hard. Yeah,
not with me. The girls that I know, their numbers are huge.
Right, exactly. And now I'm thinking maybe I should do. I don't know what I'm open to suggestions. I keep saying this every week, and not very many people give me suggestions. So give me suggestions on what I should do with this channel. What should I do with Vimeo? What should I do with Facebook Live or all the Mixler? Let's see how this Mixler thing happens. If you guys have music that you want me to play, let me know. It has to be original though. All that kind of stuff. You want me to advertise? I can advertise. But anyway, once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and I'm liking this new the platform here with the questions over here. Keep them coming every week. I love it. Thank you so much. And I guess I'll see you tomorrow at Cliffs of Freedom. And we're out. Or not. Oh, no, can't hear it. Wait a second. Fail. I think because I'm still on the Bluetooth over here. So wait. No, I don't know why you can't hear it. Let's play that again. That's so strange. How come I couldn't hear it? Let's see. Why is it so quiet? I'm playing my outro music. It's not playing. Why is that?
I don't know.
It's weird. Once again, it's a funny ending. Last week I ended with my hair standing on end.
That's funny.
Bye. End.